Hello and welcome to a little corner of Boyles Garden Centre here in Killorglin, and we are of course joined again by our gardening expert Trish. How are we doing this week, Trish?
I'm very good, Alan, thank you very much.
Great. Right, well this week we're going to kind of follow on from maybe one or two little inquiries that we've had, because a lot of people are always kind of wondering what to plant in both shady areas and sunny areas. So we're going to cover that sort of stuff today. We're going to start with the shade, because that's obviously a big problem that a lot of people have in their garden.
It is, like you've got a shady area, it's dark, so automatically what you want to do, you want to lighten up the area, brighten up the area, make it like look as if there's lights down there, because a shady area is just so dark basically, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to go through a couple of shrubs now that will have flowers on them, and some of them will be just evergreen and they will tolerate that type of condition. With a shady area, you have to remember then that the soil is that much more moisture in it, because obviously there's no sunshine to absorb the moisture out of it.
And would that mean that there wouldn't be as many nutrients in it?
Not necessarily, because if topsoil was brought into the garden, it's the same topsoil that was there from whether it's the sunny area or the shady area, right? So as I say, it's the condition of the soil. So no matter what plant you plant, just take that into consideration as well. As we were on before, if it's a plant that requires a little bit more drainage, raise up your bed, put in your grit or whatever, just encourage it. Again, like, doesn't matter whether it's a sunny or shady area, have good compost, put it in with it. You might have your own compost that you've made, you can fork that into it as well, and even fork in a slow release fertilizer as well. It's most important, no matter what area you have in the garden, is to prepare your soil first. It's easy plant afterwards, but it's the preparation, and that'll benefit the plants over the years.
So it might require, as I said, a little bit of hard work, a little bit of kind of rooting, kind of getting down, digging it up a small little bit, and you'll be able to see then how much moisture is there. Put in the little bit of ground, a bit of grit and stuff like that, and then build up your bed afterwards.
Yeah, because usually a good way of seeing how much moisture is in the area, even if you get some of the soil and put it into your fist, and if you squeeze it, and if a couple of drops comes out of it, or you know that it's a good indication. Or if you dig a hole and it kind of fills with water, it's just all these areas just to keep in. But come into us here, we will give you plenty of advice.
But there's always answers, you see, that's it. Because some people may have just given up. People may have given up on that corner of the garden that doesn't see the sun, or that area that just like going, it used to have something in it and now it's not. So let's start. What do we got?
So basically the first one that I have here is a hypericum. Now I've two different types of hypericums. I've got the taller one, which we covered there a couple of weeks ago, the St. John's wort. It grows to about 4 feet high, yellow flower from July up until October, extremely hardy. That'll do in partial shade, not dense shade, but partial shade. So it might get light part of the day, that'll be perfect. This is a lower one then, it's a variegated, which means, again now I'm trying to brighten up the area. So as that goes on throughout the season, it'll get brighter. So you'd have the green with the white around the edge. The new growth that comes on it is lovely and bright then as well. And usually it has a red tinge on it. You can barely see it coming out now.
Absolutely.
And again, that also has the yellow flower in it from July to October.
So you got green, yellow, white and red nearly there. Straight away, that's a lot of colour.
It's fine. And then with the hypericums then, they're evergreen as well.
So
they might lose some of their leaves, but generally they're kind of more or less evergreen. So that's something that's there all the time. A lot of people now in their gardens, they have the flame of the forest.
Very, very popular. We talk about it every season.
So very good. That is a nice one for a shady garden as well, where you might have shade in the morning. It's absolutely ideal for that. Again, evergreen, the new growth that comes on it is a lovely red shoots on it. I actually have this one in my garden myself. It's a variegated one, and oh my God,
it's a nice little small one as well.
This is a small one. It's lovely and compact. There's no cutting, there's no pruning, it just grows away itself. And the little red shoots that come on that. Now, my shrub is there for a couple of years, so it has the red shoots, it's more mature. This one is only a small one in a pot.
And that is?
That's again the flame of the forest as well. It's a small flame of the forest with the variegated leaf, and that does in a light shady area as well.
Lovely,
so they're beautiful now as well. You also have the hostas. Now the hostas are fantastic for a shady area.
They even look like a kind of a swampy plant.
Yes,
is it even possible to say that?
No, it is, and they will take the ground that's a little bit more wetter as well, and they'd be quite happy in that. Again, you can get them with the blue leaf, you can get them with the dark green leaf. This one now that we have here, a blue one. It's kind of a grey blue, and it's absolutely lovely as well. The one I have here now, again, I'm thinking to lighten up the area. It's green with a lovely white creamy edge on it. Now they do also have a flower on it. There's a little stalk that comes up about this far with kind of a lilac flower on it.
Oh, beautiful.
Kind of July, August, that time of the year.
Yeah.
And they do lovely in a shady area.
Okay.
Or again, if you've got the soil that it just won't take any plant at all, because I get loads of people in here and saying, I keep planting loads of stuff. Maybe that's just the soil, it doesn't have nutrient in it, it's just too wet.
Okay.
You can plant these in pots as well. So just remember, you could put groups of plots in there and that will enhance your shady area then as well.
Yeah, you did mention that a couple of weeks ago, and it is such an interesting point that like if you were to literally just make a few more holes in the pot and kind of drop them into the ground and plant around, would actually suffice?
That would do for a while, but you have to remember that the root system will get big in that pot then as well. But no, when I'm saying plant them in pots, and leave the pots on top of the soil.
Oh, right.
If you can plant into the soil, if there is a problem that it is too wet or the soil is just absolutely hopeless, really.
Sorry, my mistake.
So the hostas are absolutely lovely, and of course another one. I know a lot of people thinking, why are we planting ferns? But there is some fabulous cultivated forms of ferns, and they do excellent in the shade. Like even if you've got a tree in that area and it's shaded underneath, you can put the ferns in it then.
I tell you, if anyone's asking questions, just go down to Kells Bay and you'll see.
Exactly.
Like it really does add a lot to the areas. And if you've got like overhanging trees that are maybe they're the issue, or it could be even the neighbour's wall. There's lots of different things that can cause it. And if you've got a spot getting frustrated, it's ideal just to put it in. Give it something.
The ferns are beautiful.
Yeah.
And then also as well, like I always say, you have to remember the winter time as well. It's great having all these flowers during the summer, but you want something in the winter as well. And this is a great one, extremely hardy. It's called a Viburnum Tinus.
Or Eve Pierce. I always go for the simple one.
That's actually the variety name of it, the Eve Price. So what it is then is you can see the buds are just finished now.
Okay.
So it flowers from November up until April.
All right.
So it's a great plant for the winter months. It opens up to a pink bud and then it opens up into a white flower, and it's evergreen then as well. So even if it's not in flower during the summer, it still has the lovely green leaf on it.
Yeah, and with the flowers now gone and dead, would you need to trim them back or just leave them?
Yeah, if you want, if the plant is getting too big, after flowering is a good time to actually trim it.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be fine. But generally, if it's fine and you're happy with the size, there's no need to be going chopping on that.
But if you're looking at it right now to put it in, it's planning long term, and you're thinking that in the winter.
No, that'd be fine. And then another one that we've had earlier as well is
good old Camellias,
and they flower kind of springtime as well. So you'd have your spring, you'd have your summer, and then you'd have your winter. So I keep saying that it's so important, to put in plants that will be all year round interest and not just for the summer.
Would these all work in the same soil type then as well?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, because with your camellias, azaleas, rhododendrons, they like the peaty soil.
Okay.
So again, with anything, if you're starting off a new bed or a new garden, get your soil testing done.
No matter how bad the corner is.
Yeah, no matter how bad. And at least you know what the soil is like throughout the whole garden. Now, when you plant your plants then as well, whether it's the sunny or the shade, obviously the plants are just this size at the moment, so you've got loads of spaces. You can put in summer bedding plants.
Okay.
And with the summer bedding plants, there's particular ones for the shady area and for the sunny area.
Okay, right.
So if I was planting these and I wanted to plant some plants that will, for summer colour, I'd put in my busy lizzies.
Yeah.
I'd put in pansies, violas.
Wow.
Geranium.
Lots of colour there.
Loads of colour, and they will tolerate the shade, and they'd be perfect in that.
Right.
Just add a bit of colour, and then like always, you can have bulbs then in the autumn time. So it's just continuous, but it is, I keep saying it's very important to talk to someone if you have no idea, because plants are there and you don't want to be buying plants and going out and 6 months later they're dying because they're in the wrong position.
And I'd say that happens so often. Like people will just go and say, oh, that looks beautiful here in the garden centre, I'll bring it home, I'll plant it. But if you put it in the wrong spot, it won't, and it's disappointing, and then people can just give up.
Well, see, they can,
and you don't want that.
They will all last, even if you put them in the wrong spot. They'll last for the first year, maybe the second year, but then over the years, then they're declining more and more because they're not in the right position.
Yeah. So it's just, again, it's that whole thing. Gardening, it just requires a little bit of care and a little bit of maintenance and looking after them.
And a little bit of thought.
A little bit of thought.
A little bit of thought going into it. But
okay, so that is the shade. So now let's talk about, and it's not quite sunny areas. What we're more specifically talking about is like dry or gravel and stuff like
areas,
that. So what can we add to an area that someone might have? What sort of area are you talking about?
Okay, like that now, we're kind of going on the particular areas that are more difficult, because you always have the areas that's out in the open and dry plants or shady plants or sunny plants will do. But this one, as you say, is a gravelly area, so the soil wouldn't be great either. It'd be kind of stony, there'd be poor nutrition in it, and you're just wondering, how can I soften that area? It's like the patios last week. How can I soften that area if it's a gravel or if it's a rockery? So if you wanted a shrub, this is a great one. Doesn't require that much nutrient. It's a cistus, or a rock rose is the name of it.
Rock rose, lovely.
Now it comes in the white, and this one here, we have a lovely flower on it. It comes in the pink. I mean, that is absolutely fabulous, and you can see all the buds on it. They're just full of it.
I feel you picked this one just for me because the variety is the Allen.
Oh, I did, of course, Alan. Yes, I did. I noticed that.
You didn't, your backside. But it's got so many buds that are ready to pop there.
And that's fabulous. And that is another great seaside plant as well, because you can see the leaves, they're kind of coarse or whatever. Now that plant itself can grow to about 1 metre in height and 1 metre in width.
Okay, right, so that's a nice size area.
As I say, it doesn't require a great lot of nutrient, so a gravelly area would be ideal for that.
Okay, great.
Now these are alliums. If anybody is visiting our shop or the garden centre, we have a bed outside, and I was just looking at them this morning, they're just ready to burst.
Right.
So come and have a look at them when they're in flower, and they are absolutely fabulous. You'll see them on the roundabout going into Killarney as well, the Ballydowny roundabout. They've got a big long stem out of it, and then on the top they've got a big ball, and it's purple, and the alliums are absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, and again, it looks like very, the leaves are kind of dropping and drooping down, but it's just making way for the stem to come right up in the middle of it and burst with colour.
And like that, and you've got different textures. This is kind of more upright and rigid, and then this is flowy with the foliage on it. So it's just to add a bit of different interest into the bed then as well.
The key thing there, as well as you were saying, is that it doesn't require a fantastically rich soil.
No, it does not. No. Okay. And this is another one as well. It's a dwarf broom. A lot of people would know the higher brooms.
Okay.
But this one is a dwarf one, and it has a weeping effect on it. It grows to about 2 feet high. Now, what we're looking at it here, you can see the arch on it, and these are all the buds.
It's going to be so colourful.
It is going to be fabulous, and it's a lovely bright yellow.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the sun on top of that now, on top of the yellow. It's an ideal spot for it, and it is lovely.
And again, so that's gonna pop obviously in the next month or so.
Yes, but even closer to that, because the buds are just about to open.
Yeah. So let's keep the colour going, and I've got.
Now they are so popular. We have been selling so many of these.
And and if you were seeing and looking at on Facebook, you can understand why. It's such a beautiful purple flower that is just kind of coming through, a lovely little kind of leaves on it and stuff like that. It's absolutely gorgeous. What is this called?
It's called a campanula, or the bell flower, some people call it then as well. Now you even see them, like I'm talking about a stony, gravelly area, you see them going out of rocks, walls, grottos. People are coming in, they're saying, I'm seeing this thing that's creeping down, and that's it, the campanula. It is evergreen as well, which is great, and it flowers then this time of the year, but you can see the amount of buds on that, and it's beautiful.
So that would really get any sort of gravelly area or something you might have an unwanted. That'd totally transform it.
It would, of course.
Now
we're
let's
back
go
to the carnations again. But
I love my carnations.
They love a sunny, gravelly area, well-drained area, and they're absolutely fabulous. There's a lovely scent off them then as well. We have another little one there somewhere. It's a small little red one.
Yeah, I have it here
underneath, as well. And they're beautiful. What I do with them
dainty one.
Is even grow them in clumps, and you can imagine a clump of red or a clump of pink, or we have them in white as well. And they're absolutely fabulous. Beautiful, they're really nice.
So and they do flower quite a long time as well.
They do, they do. Like even as well, say if that flower was kind of dying off, I kind of pinch it off. There's actually a big seed head on it there, and if you pinch that at the end of that, it's not then taking the nutrient from the plant itself, and if you're popping it off, it'll come better.
It'll come better again. And keep going. Wow.
So they'd be nice. And of course we've grasses then as well.
Yes.
And
so let's have a look at these.
We've a lot of different type of grasses. You've got a blue one, and I've got a lovely variegated one here then as well. Again, you're talking about the flowy texture. It's different than the rigid shrubs or whatever, and they'll just blow in the wind, and they've lovely little grass heads on the top of them. And again, they definitely require a well-drained area, which is this gravelly site. I wouldn't put it in the shady area or a wet area or anything like that. And you have the blue one there.
The blue one, it's Elijah blue. It's a Festucia, is it?
Yes, Festucia. And they actually come in black as well.
Do you know what? I saw them there the other week, and I was like going, why would anyone want to have black grass? But it can if you've got a stony area or a sandy area.
If you've got a golden stone underneath that and the black on top of it, it looks fabulous. Yeah.
And these would be also very good for seaside, I take it.
Yes.
You know.
And then with the grasses as well, we only have the dwarf ones here that were on show, but I also have the tall ones that can grow 4 to 5 feet high, big plumes up out of them, and they're fabulous then as well.
Fantastic, right? So that is that's lots of great options, and it's especially you're covering a lot of areas there now. People that might just be kind of worried or not able to kind of grow something, we've got loads of options, and that's the best thing.
Oh, so. It is, yeah. No, just come in, tell us your area. You might possibly have a shady area in your garden and the dry stony area, and we'll be able to get plants. It's just a matter of picking them out and guiding you in the right direction.
Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic, and it's lovely to see the little dianthus. We've got a few things down there, and a hydrangea as well. So listen, that is lots of great ideas, and hopefully we've given you lots of thoughts to hopefully pop some colour, because that's what we want to do. We want to pop some colour in different areas around your garden, be it shaded or dry and gravelly. We've got lots of options here at Boyles at Killorglin. Your garden centre will have them. Talk to an expert like our Trish and you will definitely have a great looking garden. So as always, Trish, thanks so much for all your expertise and your suggestions here. Thanks to everyone here at Boyles and Dave on camera work. That is all we have time for this week. Until next time, happy gardening.